When I was a child, I used to love to go to this place that I affectionately called the swamp. It was actually a large pond or a marsh, but this is where all the magic happened for me. I learned to meditate. The frogs taught me to meditate. I learned to tune into other dimensions of reality. I learned to commune with the trees. And my whole life was a multidimensional magic experience when I visited the swamp. I'm Waxela Sananda. Thank you for joining me today. Children have a way of just bringing magic into everyday experiences. And I was certainly a magical child, although I didn't realize that what I was experiencing was even considered magical. That was just my life back then. So I lived in a rural neighborhood and I didn't have any children my own age to play with. So I would make friends with the land, the trees, the little creatures and animals that were around, the lake, everything that was around me was alive and aware. And this is really how I learned to tune into nature. I learned to meditate and I learned to go multidimensional. So I would go to this place. It was a marshy pond area, large pond that I called the swamp because it seemed so big to me. And it had cattails that were taller than I was, and these beautiful weeping willow trees that were the guardians. And as I would enter in through the weeping willow trees, I had my little bike, my little basket, and I would park it there. And I would go to the edge of the water to collect frogs. But the thing is, frogs see me. They would see me coming long before I could see them. And so I had to figure out a technique. How will I catch the frogs without them seeing me, jumping away before I'm able to get them? And so what I would do is I would just get very, very, very still and I would watch and I would wait. And so I would tune in to the earth. And what I was doing is merging with the energy of the space that I was in. So I was becoming one with the marsh. I was becoming part of the energy of the land. And as I did that, my sight would drop down because I'm looking for frogs, so they're right in the usually in the mud on the edge of the pond, and my awareness would drop into that little miniature world that existed ankles and below my, like to my feet. And I never went too far into the water because my mother told me that wasn't true, but it was smart to tell a small child if she's going to be out playing alone by herself at the marsh, right? So she told me that there was a drop off, and if I stepped too far into the water, that I would fall in and like quicksand, I would probably never be seen again. So I never did that. I only went ankle deep. And as I tuned in and I would become part of the land, I would become part of the energy, I would merge with it. My consciousness would merge with the whole area. And suddenly I wasn't myself looking at everything else. I was part of this space that I was in, and I could see everything. I could see easily then, I could see the frogs because they shimmer in the light. They were green and gold and bronzy colored, sparkling. They're sparkling in the light, in the sunlight and the water. It was just so easy to see them. And then I could easily just grab one or two or five or however many I wanted. It was just like effortless once I tuned in. And I could also see, I was really tuning into the fairy realm. I could see the energy. I didn't think of it as energy then. It's just what was there, what I was able to see. And the insects, the teeny tiny little insect world, everything was alive and so busy, and movement, everything was moving. And if we're just adults or even a child not paying attention, It looks still at the water's edge. It just looks quiet and calm. But when you truly tune in, there is a massive amount. It's like a city. It's like New York City down ankles and below. There are insects and worms and the frogs and all of the different, different things floating around in the air energetically and physically and non-physically, all of the life, so much life packed into that space that it truly is a different dimension of reality. So this is truly how I learned to meditate, by spending hours tuning in and becoming part of the land. It's also how I probably learned to go multidimensional and made it easier for me to become a galactic shaman. Because, and here's really the juice of why I'm telling you this, it all works the same, whether you're tuning into the earth, tuning into the stars, tuning into another person. If you want to shapeshift and feel what it's like to become an animal or a bird, or anything that's out there, we can make contact by focus and awareness, by just tuning the dial of our awareness into that which we desire to experience, by making contact. If you want to connect with a star, reach out energetically and connect with it. If you want to experience a light ship or a starship in the sky, connect to it energetically and call it with your heart. If you want to see the frogs like I did as a child, I was tuning myself into the vibration of the land so that I became part of it. And we have the ability to do that. Humans are master shapeshifters. Our consciousness is not bound to this body. Our consciousness, our awareness can go anywhere. We can remote view. We can go to other planets, other galaxies. We can experience other dimensions. We can be an animal or a light being or anything that we desire with our focus and our awareness and attuning to the frequency of whatever it is that we desire to connect with. And this is true for people too. Now, I'm not telling you you should go jump into someone else's body, but it is very helpful in relationships if you can tune in and focus your attention and awareness into what is that person experiencing, or what would that person like to experience with me or from me? What does that person want or need? What is that person's pain points? What would bring that person joy? This can really help our relationships evolve as human beings when we can connect to others in a way that is truly based on heartfelt understanding. And I do believe that this is how we connect and change the world, by our willingness and our caring for the planet, for the life on this planet, for the animals, the trees, the waters, all of the beings and the people, and also the galactics that are present here, ready and waiting to help us and assist us and serve us in our ascension process. I do write about my experiences in the swamp in my book. It's right here. It's called, not showing up with my green screen, but The Love You Crave, A Course in Ascension, Alchemy, and Connection to the Divine. And I also teach people these processes through embodied ascension training. On my website, I have various classes that have like the smaller classes where maybe you just want to experience galactic connection or breath work, or I do have an embodied ascension foundations course there. And if you like these courses, you can always jump into my mentorship and embodied ascension 6-month course later. Either way, whether you just want to enjoy my YouTube videos, I would love for you to get on my mailing list. The join link is down in the show notes, and I send out my videos and other interesting people. I have the Alchemy of Ascension season 5 coming up the beginning of March, so watch for that. And I just love to connect with you. As a child, I felt really alone. And so my reason for doing this is I want everyone to feel not alone, connected, and like we are here for a reason. And it's actually really fun to be human when we feel connected, when we feel embodied. So it's my mission to assist people on their journey of embodied ascension in whatever way that might be for you. So if you like this, if this is helpful, please do hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for being with me today. Thank you for watching. I love you and cherish you. Namaste. Okay, you can't do that. You have to choose one or the other. You want to be seen or not seen? Seen or not seen? I'm not doing that. I don't know. Okay. No? Hello? You're responding to my voice. It's a manifestation opportunity. Hello? Oh my gosh, I'm working too many hours.